Listen, I really like and respect Richard Sherman. I think he's a smart guy, but he's a part of this millennial generation that thinks being woke means everything above you is evil. Anything that's above you is evil and you can't trust them. Listen, I thought the NFLPA was in better shape when it was led by Gene Upshaw, former player, good relationship with the league, new ownership in a more intimate way than DeMaurice Smith. I think DeMaurice Smith not having a relationship with the NFL and not really understanding the league, and then you add these millennial athletes and this highly cynical nature of theirs. And again, I'm all for cynicism. It helps you as a journalist. But what world does Richard Sherman live in where it's terrible in the NFL and oh my God, they're just going to use you up? That's every industry. That's corporations. But most employees don't get paid generational wealth for performing. And so these billionaires are turning these athletes into millionaires. They should have a more partnership, working together relationship so everybody can make more money.
Well, I agree that that's what corporations, their job is to keep the, machine rolling.
Yeah.
But I will say this, the NBA's always been a players' league. And the reason is because the players sell tickets and win titles. There is a direct correlation to MJ, Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, and titles. In the NFL, it's always been about the shield since I was a kid. Who is the NFL always taking care of? It's quarterbacks, because they have to. Billionaires take care of millionaires that they have to take care of. So the reality is when you look at pro sports, who gets taken care of? NBA stars, really great starting pitchers, the great goalie or scorer in hockey, the boxer. The reality of sports is the people who mean points, wins, production, sales, tickets, ratings get paid well. Richard Sherman's a corner. Okay, and most players in the NFL on one side of the ball aren't worth a point. Two sides of the ball in football, half the league's not worth a point. A billionaire's not opening up his wallet if you're not a point for me.
Listen, though, Richard Sherman's going to leave the NFL having made $60 to $80 million.
Yeah.
I would think. That's just my estimate off the top of my head. That's a damn good living. He started in Compton.
Yes. No, I'm not. Your point of being, listen, machines work this way in corporate America. But what I think the frustration is you're hiding the CTE stuff in the 60s, 70s. You want an 18-game schedule. You squeezes on insurance, and you're making $1 kajillion a year. The truth is, what I think really happens is all these athletes in the world look at NBA stars, and they're jealous.
The NBA takes care of 15 guys on a roster.
That's right.
The NFL takes care of 53. The NFL has this dramatic revenue sharing, which is very socialistic and that's what all these young millennials, they're influenced by this social Marxist hyper left-wing mindset. The NFL lives it out with revenue sharing. The NFL, 67% African American. That's a lot of people they're taking care of. The NFL and football brings people together on a team, makes them work together. They've created a fantasy world where everybody gets rich, everybody tries to get along, they try to have diversity, and it's still getting dumped on by its employees in a way that I think is over the top. These Jerry Jones and some of these other guys, NFL ownership, Bob Kraft, they're not evil. They care about these players.
The one point that Richard Sherman, I think, is really missing is if you're a guy like Sherman that plays hard, is excellent, and you're thoughtful, you do realize the NFL will pay you for another 30 years. It's called television, marketing, branding.
Front office.
Yeah, so where players...
Coaching.
Players sometimes say, oh, the league, it's not that. Listen, the league is a corporation. The minute you're not as productive, you're gone. But if you really are a quality guy, Sherman's going to be able to, for the rest of his life, make money off his football career. That's where I agree with you. Where a lot of football players, hey, the CTE, hey, the schedule. The NFL is not just a job. It is a career. And
it's a lifestyle.
It is. And I mean, I've been to how many golf tournaments, how many speaking events, the Super Bowl. They bring in truckloads of players who are making $10,000 to sign a piece of paper. So Sherman's over-dramatizing it, but I do understand. I think all athletes look at the NBA guys, their power and their importance, and they're jealous of
They're
them.
looking at a handful of guys. The NFL is taking care of way more. And so I think guys like Richard Sherman, in particular black athletes, look over the NBA. Oh man, they take care of their players much better. They're not taking care of nearly as many players as the NFL.
And the NFL also has, compared to baseball and the NBA, 1/4, 1/5, 1/8 of the season.